All right, guys, welcome back here to Kings of the Storm. We've had some changes, and why did I just set all this up? Why didn't it work?
Oh, the green screen failed?
No, it failed.
No! Oh, I see it.
I,
Oh, I
I
see
set
it
it up.
failing.
I'm really sad. We had something really fun and fancy here. Um, well, Kev, since they can't see you at the moment, we'll have to fix that for the next game. So I'm Kevin. I am joined by Sham2
Oh, yo, what's up,
at
guys?
Sham2. Last minute changes here. Of course, it says Corey Hover. He's a ghost. He's gone. Um, but Kevin joining us. Welcome.
Yeah. How's it going? Welcome to the arena. I see that you guys saw some Asmodan builds. We
Yeah,
enjoyed some of those before. It was great. It was amazing.
it was actually really fun to watch. I mean, so much bonus damage throughout the game, just
Oh
continuing
my
to
God.
grow and grow and grow.
It's like my favorite new thing to watch now. But yeah, so we saw some pretty crazy stuff, and I see that you guys have gotten into quite a dilly of a pickle. I mean, we wouldn't expect these two teams to get to the end zone
No,
often.
I mean, Barrel Boys they've been on the rise for sure.
They
But
have been. Barrel
but
Boys, of course, yeah, they've been doing really well. I saw McIntyre's town hall appearance last week, but really glad to see what's been going on lately.
yeah, and Heroes Hype though they've really just exploded recently. Like the last couple weeks, they just stepped their game up and they're looking good. So I mean, that game was far from one-sided. I mean, I assume you've been watching you know what happened, right? Yes,
hmm
very good. Yeah, and it was a pretty exciting game. But it looks like the draft is about to begin here, and we're gonna switch on over to that draft screen.
So the map being Cursed Hollow, it's gonna definitely affect how Heroes Hype, I think, has been playing pretty much lately. They go for pretty standard type of compositions, I've been noticing, but they do some really fancy positioning in their team fights, and I've been really enjoying that quite a lot lately.
Yeah, I mean, Bear Boys in general, like if they're not comfortable with that exact scenario, like the exact team fight, if it's not perfect for them, they just leave. They're just like, you know
Yeah.
what? No, we're not. We don't have to take this. You want curse? All right, have it. We're gonna go trade out a keep or something. And it's like that kind of like just adaptation and like willingness to throw away potential I guess advantages or stuff here and there. I think it makes a big difference in their playstyle.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Barrel Boys, they're like almost the best decision makers I've seen in a long time. Compared to most of the other teams that we see for the most part. I mean, we see Tempo Storm making some really good decisions, but Barrel Boys' decision making is it's unorthodox, but it always makes sense, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's probably the best. It's like a weird but very good way of putting it, honestly. So
So yeah, we're seeing Kerrigan and Stitch's band, and the crowd wasn't surprised at all.
no, yeah, it's pretty much as standard as it gets in the current state of things here, and yeah, I mean that's not a problem whatsoever. We're looking at Cursed Hollow, probably the most norm map possible, and I'm actually resetting up the green screen because I'm amused by this
Yeah,
idea.
you are. Yeah, you are. I better just randomly show up in Corey Halber's spot. It's gonna be great. Take that, Kubi.
Kubi, of
Um,
course, had to dip out on us, and he apologizes for his abrupt disappearance, but I assure you that he is fine and well. So, looking at the draft here, I mean,
I
Kerrigan.
assure you, he's fine and well. That was the most ominous thing I could possibly. He disappeared randomly, didn't say where, but I swear to God, he's fine. Uh-huh. Sure, Jake. We'll believe you on that one.
He's
Sorry.
gonna go he's gonna go fight some Ursidons out in Hoth, and well, we see Tassadar is being picked up as our first, and then Tychus will be the first pickup here. Now, do we see our little girl in a red Vala or someone else?
Barrel Boys have been, if I remember correctly, yeah, they went for
Zebo. Okay.
so they went for Tychus Vala last time, I think, but this time, yeah, Nazebo, really good pickup from them. Nazebo's just really strong on this map all the time.
Yes. I
Uh,
mean, and just in general, like you have to play reactively. It's a hero that forces their hand to get something to stop the Ravenous. You either get Tranquility to heal through it, or you get something like Muradin to stun it out.
I also want to say this is somewhat of a small counter pick, right? If you see a
Hmm.
Tassadar is really good because of his Archon. He decides when or not the enemy team's going to want to really hard engage. If they go into a Tassadar, they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But what's the most time that you trigger a hard engage is when you have a Nazebo Ravenous Spirit. Getting that Nazebo away from the Tassadar allows from disallows Heroes Hype from having that really strong synergy that forces the disengage because you see the Nazebo and you're like, oh man, I really want to go for that Nazebo, but then there's an Archon sitting right next to it and you're like, oh, I don't want to go for that so hard.
It's a great point.
Seeing Barrel Boys pick that up, that's actually a really good, strong, like taking away from that great synergy there. We do see the Vala coming out though.
Yeah, the little girl in red.
Little Red Riding Hood.
No, little girl in red.
Little
Okay.
Girl in Red? I have not heard this before.
I don't know. I call him the big boy in blue and the little girl in red as of today. That's my new thing.
Okay.
Yep. So as we progress through this draft, yeah, Val's very simple pickup. I mean, both teams opting for those damages early. Many tanks still on the line, but this has kind of been how most of the drafts go. Now, people they base the start of their draft on what they can pick up for damage, and then they go from there. Don't think we're going to see any weird picks like Asmodan in this game, but you never know.
Well, I mean, once we see Tempo Storm come out, maybe we'll start seeing some more Asmodan. I
True.
mean, I think they're the only ones who've really been practicing around with that dunk build. But hopefully we'll start seeing some more crazy picks. I mean, I think somebody was saying before, if you looked at the stash page, only 4 heroes haven't been picked or banned at all in this entire tournament.
That's insane.
Which, out of 29 heroes, that's pretty darn impressive.
That's actually insane. Like, oh, and who are the 4?
I can only assume it was Murky, Gazlo.
Sonya.
No, Gazlo was probably
probably
picked.
Sonya.
Yeah.
And maybe
Sonya.
Gazlo was picked. Who knows? But I mean, yeah, we saw Nova played. I'm sure we've seen Raynor played. We've seen Asmodan played. Like that's a good stat to have. Like it really is.
It's a good stat for Blizzard, you know? It's like, hey, look, we made a competitive scene, or, there's a competitive scene spawning, and we've got 4 people that weren't even played at all. Uther being picked up by Heroes Hype, which is really interesting, because I'm really curious to see who they're going to go for their warriors. Oh, I think we've seen them before go for Uther and then straight on into Ethereal. And that's what I'm kind of curious to see if that's going to make because Uther allows you to kind of have more of an off tank. But
True.
they've got 2 strong damaging heroes already. I wonder if they're going to go for double support with probably Ethereal off tank.
We actually haven't seen a lot of the double support at all today. I mean, we saw the
Really?
respect.
We did. What's so weird?
Oh, maybe you guys were seeing it.
Our end of the
weren't.
bracket was just all double support.
Now
all double support.
Did Tempo Storm run double support?
They did twice. 3
See,
times?
every single time we saw Tempo Storm play, Rhaegar was banned. We cast 3 games. Rhaegar was banned all 3 games, and so maybe that's part of it. Maybe they don't want to do the Uther Mouth, even though we've seen them do that before. But time will tell here. But they've picked up Zeratul to go with the Nazebo, Tassadar, or Tychus. So that's the big powerhouse available. The Void Prison with the Ravenous Spirit set up. I mean, that's actually just terrifying. And they could go for something like ETC here, because if they can set up the dance with the VP, set up a huge dance, and then just summon the Ravenous Spirit, you can just annihilate their team. No pun intended.
That's a really strong synergy that you're mentioning. It's really weird though, because for the most part, we've been seeing a lot of Zeratul kind of falling off after that cloak debuff. It kind of really hurt Zeratul, but that Void Prison is just still so undeniable. I fear we're not going to be seeing Zeratul too much though after this next patch.
Well, when we find out what the patch is, I mean, yeah, time will tell. But you're right, though. That cloak nerf made him less popular, and I guess people just got used to it. And they said, you know what, it's not that bad. VP is still so powerful. They have hinted at VP getting changed to the point where you can't just steal a Merc camp for free anymore. What that means, we don't know. So maybe that makes VP smaller. Maybe it makes VP... who knows? Who knows?
Whoa. Whoa. Muradin.
Well,
That's not what I was expecting.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense when you consider that Muradin is such a strong counter to Nazebo. To deny the potential of the enemy team having Muradin, it also pairs well with the Ravenous. So if you're trying to run away from the Ravenous Spirit and you have an Avatar just sitting there smacking away, keeping you locked down, it works out pretty well.
That's true. And also, Muradin is really good because he's got that leap. And a lot of Cursed Hollows, a lot of corridors and hallways that kind of become difficult and you can kind of get locked down in. So it's, it also really works well. So like if your team is kind of all running down one corridor, Muradin can jump over to the next corridor.
Very
over,
true.
that little lane in the jungle and potentially give your team a little bit more of a diverse position. I guess I could see it just for a mobility aspect as well. I think that'd be pretty good. But you're right, being able to deny the the Muradin from the Nazebo. I mean, right now they only have one set of hard CC, so there's ETC to also give a little bit of hard ETCC.
Yeah, I mean, this could be Stage Dive. Now, Stage Dive, great response to both the Ravenous Spirit and the global presence on this map is huge. And I mean, they already have Uther. Do they really want to allow them to have Brightwing? I don't think they have a choice, because I think Brightwing will be the last pick here for Barrel Boys, and they need a little bit more damage. Sergeant Hammer is a pretty likely pick, but we've seen Nova play today on this map. We've seen Raynor, rise in popularity. Even Jaina's getting a lot of play lately, so it's up in the air. And it's Thrall.
Oh, Thrall. Interesting. Now, I normally only see Thrall in a double support pick, so it's actually really interesting to see him.
Well, it's good that you mentioned that, because Tassadar with the shielding and the healing ward is like it's enough to like.
You
make
know,
that.
I literally always forget Tassadar as a supporter.
I know, everyone does. Everyone does. So no fault there on your end, but yeah, I mean and there's the Brightwing pickup, so no surprise there. We're gonna let the teams know we're ready. Is my screen fixed? God, this looks so weird. The double green screen.
I don't want to even know what it looks like.
You'll see it on the stream, maybe.
Oh,
well,
man.
2 minute delay, maybe not. We're gonna let the teams know that we are ready to roll. Good luck, have fun, and map 1 will begin very shortly. Or not map 1, not map 1
Map
at all.
2.
Map 2.
This is map 2. Numero dos. I had to teach Zoya what 10 was in Spanish today.
Ocho? That's 8. That's 8.
That's 8.
Don't even.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm done.
What is wrong with you people?
I only took 2 years of Spanish in high school. Give me a break.
Dude, I only took 1, and I was in middle school. And I took 4 years of German, and the only other thing I can say is ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Mis pantalones de un fuego. I'm gonna go with that. And you can interpret that as you please. Map number 2, Cursed Hollow, loading up, guys. Get ready. And Kevin, why don't we introduce our teams?
Sure thing. Spawning over here on the left-hand side, the blue trunks. It is Team Heroes Hype. Ursadon spawning as Tassadar. Down in the bottom lane, we've got Vala played by Yuki. Tazza on ETC. Suki playing Uther. And up in the top lane, all by his own little self, it's Hakfu playing Thrall.
And in the red trunks, we have Fan playing as Tychus. Blinks will be playing the beautiful Toothless-style Fairy Dragon of Brightwing. Well, we have Trumbull playing as the Nazebo on the Nazebra. Zeratul will be played by McIntyre. And last but not least, it's going to be Fury on Muradin. So what do you think about these overall comps, Kev?
Overall, I'm trying to think of, like, I was just kind of thinking about that. Like, who do I really want to give the compositional award to in this match? And I think right now, I kind of want to give it to Barrel Boys. Heroes Hype had me until that Thrall pick, I think.
Really?
That Thrall
Okay.
pick kind of threw me off.
It's
So
not common.
I'm not really a big fan of Thrall.
Yeah, and the reason I kind of agree with that is when you look at Thrall, yeah, he's great. He does a lot of damage, and we're going to take a look at his build throughout this game. But he's shut down so hard by stuff like Polymorph to the point where, especially late game, with Polymorph Critterize, he's just going to get evaporated. And, I mean, we're actually seeing the Wind Shear build. So this is leaning towards that heavy Wind Fury short cooldown where you pick up Envenom at level 4, you pick up Battle Momentum at level 7, and you have like a 3-second cooldown on Wind Fury, and you're just in their face constantly. But if you get polyed, it doesn't really work out that way.
I mean, I think they were just they were pigeonholed into getting that Thrall because of getting Sundering to deny that Nazebo. Look at their team. They don't have that many options to really hard deny without having somebody run all the way into their team.
Yeah.
Right?
Good point.
So I think that's the only reason they had to pick up Thrall. Otherwise, they would have loved a Sergeant Hammer. ETC plus Sergeant Hammer plus everything else, that would have been a great pick for them, especially on this map. But I think they were forced into that Thrall, and it's gonna be really rough for them to work with, I feel like.
Well, we're going to see how they can do it, but Thrall is a beast of a solo laner, and he's doing a good job here in the top lane on versus Cursed Fury. We can see that McIntyre Ursadon in the middle lane, pretty stable right now, and just running through the talents available in this game so far. Pretty standard stuff, block and ETC. We're seeing the Overload, actually, which has lost a lot of popularity on Tassadar.
Yeah, Tassadar is, you know, it's really weird that he's actually not completely destroying this lane right now. That's actually what I'm kind of curious about. He's kind of just letting McIntyre just do whatever he wants to. Granted, McIntyre did grab that block, which is a little bit of that Korean meta that we kind of picked up a couple of weeks ago.
That's a very good point to point out. Tazza barely not getting hit by that zombie wall, and it will be dropped very soon after. Pretty even, just the 1-1-3 lane style here. Having a Nazebo often signals that they're going to be winning that lane, but Vala just showing her power, keeping them pushed back.
Yeah, Vala's doing a really good job there. Of course, she's going for that multi-shot build really, really strong. The thing that I really want to point out here is that we have double gathering power yet again on Team Heroes hype. Oh, sorry, Barrel Boys. This is good if they start getting a lot of team fight wins, but if they don't, I mean, look at what we have on the enemy team. They've got a lot of sustain. We've got that healing ward, we've got that protective shield. If they don't start winning a couple of these really early team fights, I think, it's going to be hard for them to start getting that momentum going, especially against these tributes. And if they don't get these tribute fights just right, I feel like it's going to be really hard for them to come over it.
And yeah, it looks like Heroes have been giving up that first tribute as McIntyre is able to capture it with zero contention whatsoever. Brightwing going to be grabbing that watchtower back here for their team. And although there is a slight level advantage here for Heroes hype, I mean, the tribute lead starts here in favor of Barrel Boys.
Yeah, I mean, they are getting that nice little tribute at first. Level 7 is going to be a little bit just in favor of the enemy team, and I don't think they're going to be able to really do that much with it, though. I mean, it's not like it's too huge of a boost here.
Yeah, I mean, the battle momentum really helps. We're going to see the static charge, which will ramp up the damage, and cleanse also can't really change fights, but what are they worried about with the cleanse, really? I mean, polymorph doesn't really help with that. It helps with the Muradin stuns more than anything else, and we'll see how it makes it. Actually, does cleanse work on poly? I don't actually know if it does. I can't believe I don't know that. I'm just realizing that right now.
I believe it does, but the thing is that that's the only thing it's going to be able to do. I guess that's actually worth it. But if you really think about it, I mean, like, it's definitely not going to do that much for the Muradin, because Muradin stuns are only for like half a second anyway. So, I mean, it's not enough to really worry about, I don't think, to cleanse. So it'd have to be for those polymorphs.
Yeah,
otherwise it might have been just a wasted talent.
I mean, with Uther though, level 7, it's by far the most useful talent, no matter how you look at it. You have
That's
the talents,
true.
I mean, the Radiance, Holy Radiance, I believe it's called. Not really that big of a talent, but cleanse can really be a playmaker.
All right, so we have a pretty good push coming down bot lane. They've taken out a tower. They've got the siege giants pushing. They really need to start making something happen. But Tazza is going to come in here. Looks like Trummel is going to get caught here, as a pushback is going to finish him off. And that's going to be the first kill of the game.
Yeah, nice first blood there. Just, using that power of VTC, knocking him back, cornering that into the wall, getting the kill. Nicely done. And that's a confidence booster, too. Like, we just picked them off really nicely. They're down 1-0 in this series, and they want to prove that they can go toe-to-toe with Barrel Boys.
Yeah, and, I mean, this is how they just need to start getting that little bit of map control, especially because now they're going to be level 10. Unfortunately, it wasn't tied immediately with some sort of tribute spawning, which would have been a really good bit of map control and team advantage to really use. But still, a kill is a kill, and it's going to give them a little bit of that experience boost at least.
Yeah, definitely.
And allow them to clean up the giants up really easily, too, without doing any damage to your towers.
Very true. Just looking at the heroics, we see that we do, in fact, have Mosh Pit, Divine Storm, Archon, Sundering, and Strafe picked up here. And on the other half, Kev, what do we got going on over there?
Oh, man, do we have an Emerald Wind coming out here? Yes, we do. Oh, I love Emerald Wind. I love seeing it so much. And it's really kind of curious because she didn't grab any other type of talents that would, like, deny the amount of healing.
Oh, Emerald Wind, speaking of which, big position to potentially use there, but he's going to hold on to it. Blink saying, no, not the time yet. Fan is zoned out from the rest of his team pretty hard here, and that's an opportunity. But that VP going down.
Here comes the Odin, and it looks like we're setting up. There's the Ravenous Spirit with the Emerald Wind. Emerald Wind does get a little bit disengaged from, though. Haku taking a lot of damage. McIntyre, oh boy, barely just getting out of that alive, but a really nice zombie wall keeping everybody together.
Everything about that team fight was all Barrel Boys until that Sundering came out, completely disrupting that Ravenous Spirit, giving them a lot of work. The dance will secure this kill on Fan, though.
Oh my god, everybody's so low, and it's barely a 1-for-1 for each side. The rotations coming out of both this team are so amazing. I can't even believe it. It's just so strong.
Yeah, they need to leave at this point. Well has been tapped by both Tazza and Suki, and they just have to get out. Even with Blinks face shifting back into the battle with full health, Fury is going to end up losing his life if he sticks around any longer, and Trommel definitely cannot stay.
The biggest problem I think I saw there was that the healing ward was just staying alive for so long, and you can't let that healing ward stay alive for that long.
Yeah,
That's easily like 10% of people's health.
Yuki, do they get the pickup? Yes, they use. They're both the Sun from Murden and the Polymorph there. The big zombie wall goes down, trapping Suki. That'll pick up Suki. The Emerald Wind, not going to be quite enough, but Tazza should fall here. Stun coming from the Uther Ghost.
Oh man, Curse Fury jumped in, but I think he just barely ran out of mana at the very last second. Couldn't get that Stormbolt off. And it looks like Tazza is going to be able to get away with this. The tribute is finally picked up by Blinks. But it didn't happen in a blink of a second here.
No, it did not, Kev. It definitely did not. 2 for 1 in terms of tributes right now. They have the aggression here. All 5 members up for both teams, but we saw these mass hearth coming out, and everyone is nice and healed up.
Oh man, so that was a pretty good fight from both of these teams. I mean, that was the thing I really wanted to point out in the very beginning. You looked at that battle went on for like 30, 40 seconds. Nobody died except for like one person each, and even then that was barely at the end of that 30 seconds. Everybody was down to like a quarter of their health. That's some really strong rotational.
When all the heroics are off cooldown after a fight, that's telling enough right there, so...
But everybody's heroics were down, but everybody was still alive. I don't even get it, Jake. These people's rotations, it's out of this world.
Well, this very aggressive rotation to pick up those bruisers, and then this confidence play by them going for these knights. Heroes Hype is really trying to say, look, we're not afraid of you here. You're going to pick up this boss, but Barrel Boys are on the hot pursuit.
Yeah, they're about to barrel right on in here. Are they going to be able to get this? Yes, they are. There's the front person. The steal of the boss. It's going to be a nice boss here, out here for Barrel Boys.
And Tazza just gets absolutely melted. That strafe got its entire duration. The healing ward there is finally picked off. Blinks, does he have the Emerald Wind available? No, it is on cooldown. Fury in the front line. Oh, the Ravenous Spirit going to be complete. Oh, the Sundering just barely clipped it. What a huge play.
Oh, and that's exactly what I was talking about. That's exactly why they needed Haku to play Thrall. They needed that Sundering to get in there. But is Haku gonna get away? There is the Wind Fury proc.
McIntyre's looking. He's looking. Does he blink forward for the Singularity Spike? No, the Wolf!
Really nice Wolf!
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, this is going to be the first curse of the game here for Barrel Boys. They turn it around. They say, look, you can't just steal our boss. We're going to steal it from you. They're going to rotate around and grab this bottom boss, the offensive boss, and that boss is still in the top lane with a curse. It's going to get infinite amounts of work done.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of this play down here, and that's not just because of the Tychus. They are doing some really, really nice positioning on this map. And they're just kind of all over the place. They're just pretty much out-rotating. Anytime that Heroes Hype is at one place, Barrel Boys is already saying, all right, we're going to kind of like glance by you, but we're only doing that because we're going to a different part of the map. We're making sure that you're following us. We're not having to follow you, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're making sure that their objectives sit way above those team fights. Like, those team fights are only happening because Barrel Boys want them to happen.
And you know what? With the curse still on for another 20 seconds and this boss here, this is actually going to be incredibly difficult to defend this keep. Golem pushing in, these towers are just getting evaporated. And Heroes Hype needs to play cautiously because they have to worry about getting stuck under those slams, getting hit by the roots of the Golem while defending 5 members of the team during a curse.
And, I mean, look at this. They're, you know, granted they have that Grave Golem, they've got the curse, but they're still just unafraid of being at the keep at 10 minutes, Jake. At 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that keep is going to go down.
So they're doing a really good job here. Barrel Boys really kind of coming out here, and, you know, this is exactly the kind of play we expect out of these Barrel Boys. They've really been, like, kind of just jumping through all the ladder brackets lately, and they are doing so well, and this is exactly why you can see that.
Look at McIntyre's positioning. The second Hawkfoot walks in, he throws down that full combo. He's got the VP available if needed. Blinks on out, pops first aid, Emerald Wind to disengage. They're going to pick up the bruisers and just leave on here. Actually, no. He throws down the VP, setting up that Odin.
And here comes any type of... oh, yeah, there's a massive amount of AoE. Here comes that Tassadar going into that Archon. That's what I was saying before. It's a really strong disengage. You can see the Barrel Boys started to back up as soon as that Archon did come up, but that's only to give themselves a little bit room. They forced Curse Fury to be in the front there to really take the brunt force of that damage, and then they just had to target heal him up. And that's exactly what they did.
A big problem...
Archon is so scary, but they used the positioning of that corridor perfectly to zone it out.
I mean... don't get me wrong, that Sundering was great. It did a lot of damage, but it just left that Ravenous Spirit uncontested. And once the Ravenous came out, it just cleaned up shop. So using the Sundering, it's one of those things you just kind of have to hold on to. It's hard to make that call because it did a lot of damage, but it didn't secure anything for the team.
Yeah, you're completely right, and that's one of those really scary things. It's like, you use one of those abilities, and you're like, yeah, I did a good amount of work, but it was like, oh, I forgot there's something I was actually holding it for, and it's always Ravenous Spirit.
And we saw the Ravenous come out uncontested. Now these Giants are going to get picked up in the bottom lane. There are Giants pushing down the top lane, but I don't think they're going to be able to get this far, especially with McIntyre here to give them a nice clean death.
Yeah, he's up to 6 stacks of Gathering Power. I mean, he's almost at his final form. I mean, just let him hit level 20 with 6 packs of Gathering Power, Bolt, and everything else. He's going to be able to just kind of deal with the enemy team almost by himself in a lot of ways.
He hits like a truck,
Himself.
that's for
Yeah.
sure. And we see
Like
him just,
Max
I mean, look at Haku. His health
McIntyre
just got
truck.
annihilated there. And Fury going in, throwing down that rewind, setting up that combo, Sundering hitting very little. The strafe goes off, the dance goes off, also hitting nothing. Archon being used, Emerald Wind to disengage. Ravenous Spirit now has nothing at all to contest it. And Ursadon, it's not looking good for him.
Yeah, he's going to have to use that Void Shift, but it's not going to be enough. There is the Archon power overwhelmed, definitely at this point. Yuki taking a lot of damage. McIntyre going in for it. Is he going to be able to get it? No, Tazza gets the last second stun. There is the shield from the Brightwing, but the poison going to finish him off. Oh my god, Barrel Boys has 4-0'd the enemy team, and it looks like they have a core problem here, Jake.
They have a core problem indeed. The puns are far more relentless than mine. But this core, I mean, that's 2-0. That's it. That's GG to Barrel Boys.
Oh my god, Barrel Boys! Sorry, I said that wrong. Barrel Boys.
Oh, I'm sitting in the wrong position. I shifted. Awkward. We were on top of each other. It looks horrendous.
Yeah.
GG here to Barrel Boys, advancing back to face Temple Storm in the grand finals. They lost to them in the winners finals, but now they have another chance at the throne.
Yeah, and they're not afraid of that throne, man.
No, they shouldn't be.
We've seen Barrel Boys take it before in a couple of other tournaments, but now they got to go back up against good old Tempo Storm.
Will we see Asmodan? Will we see Nova? What kind of shenanigans? Double support? Time will tell.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Well, guys, we're actually just going to get ready to get right on into that grand final. So we're going to throw it to a 5-minute commercial break, and we'll be back in just a minute. Stay with us.